Good evening, everyone. I'm going to give folks a chance to jump on before we start, get into our topic tonight. Hope everyone is doing well, have had a good week thus far. It's hump day, so you're halfway to the weekend. Hopefully, you've gotten those projects completed that you set for yourself early in the week. And I believe we're going to have a good discussion tonight, a good conversation tonight. Good evening, good evening, good evening. We will get started in a few moments. All right, Alexa, pause. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me again tonight on Meaningful Conversations with Dr. Devin Oten. We got a great topic we're going to talk about tonight, the cost of always being strong. I know this is going to resonate with a number of you because it definitely resonates with me, right? When we go into these different topics, a lot of these topics are just lived experiences for me, right? Shared experiences for those that are close to me, those that I know, those who I've had a chance to build relationship with. We've talked about some of these things and just great topics and subjects for us to discuss on this particular platform. But before I get started, I wanted to acknowledge and honor my big brother, my oldest brother, Alvin. He just retired from the U.S. Army after 36 years of service, served in wartime theaters on several occasions, been to the Middle East on several occasions. The Lord spared and brought him home. You know, wonderful family man, a wonderful wife and children who love and adore him. Just an exemplary man, right? Someone we can aspire to be like as men. And I thank God that he's my big brother. Thank God for his service and all that I've been able to learn from him and glean from his life. So, congratulations to him, 36 years of service in the Army, and he's now retiring. So, bravo, bravo, big brother, bravo. All right. Once again, tonight we're talking about the cost of always being strong. A number of us can relate to this. A number of us have seen this in action. It's a lived experience, maybe a shared experience with a husband, a wife, your spouse, your children, your parents, close friends, whatever the case may be. And strength is admirable. Resilience is powerful. Leadership requires stability, of course, right? But what happens when being strong becomes just a mask, right? Um, just in my experience, you know, I've been trained since a little kid to think that as a man, and especially as a black man in the United States of America, man, you had to work, you had to constantly prove yourself. You couldn't take days off. There's no time to rest. You know, rest is for the weary. You can't be weary. You can't be hurt. You know, you always have to be on top of your game. You always have to be ready to go at the drop of a dime at any given moment. But Tonight, we're going to talk about how that can be so exhausting, right? We can experience burnout if we have the mentality that we always have to be the strong one in every single situation in our life. I've been through it, understand what it looks like, and hopefully I'll add some value and context to this particular subject. Excuse me. So, in this episode of Meaningful Conversation, we explore the emotional and psychological cost of always being the dependable one, the steady one, the unshakable one. Leadership does not require the suppression of our humanity. Strength without vulnerability can lead to isolation, burnout, and silent struggle. And when you on that hill, dying on that hill that I always got to be strong, you are going to isolate yourself because of course you can't share with anybody what you're going through because you're a man, right? Or you're a woman. You are a leader. You are the one that everyone looks to, the one that everyone trusts and confides in, right? But you will put yourself in a place where you feel isolated. Burnout is a result, and you'll be going through this silent struggle all by yourself when we've all been designed to live, to play, to work in community, right? We're supposed to be in community. I've been hearing it since I was a kid that it takes a village, right, to raise a child. In other words, it takes a community to raise a child. It takes a community for even adults to be functional, to be healthy, mental health, physical health, whatever kind of health we're talking about. So this conversation, it invites us to consider a different kind of strength, one that allows room for honesty, rest, and emotional health. Yeah, we're going to have a conversation tonight that will allow you to think about how you should rest, how you should be honest with yourself, and how you need to guard your emotional health. So, welcome back to Meaningful Conversations. Let me ask you something. I want to start this off with a question. Who do you talk to when you're the strong one? Okay, you've always been the strong one. That's just been who you are, how you have lived, how you have been um, oriented to live. Be the strong one. But who do you talk to as the strong one when you have anxiety, when you have burnout, when you're feeling depression? Who do you talk to? Yes, you are the strong one, but even the strongest of us need someone we can lean on, need someone we can draw from their well of experience, their well of wisdom, their well of knowledge. If you do not have someone as the strong one that you can lean on, you got to find that person. You got to, and trust me, there are people in your life around you who could be that source of comfort, that source of encouragement, that source of mentorship and coaching. So answer that question. Who do you talk to when you're the strong one? When everyone leans on you, when you're the voice of stability, okay, been there, done that. When you're the one people expect to hold it together, okay, I've been there, done that. I know many of you, most of you have been there and done that. But when you're standing in those shoes, where does your humanity go? Because you are still human, right? We hear about, you know, whoever, politicians, our clergy, athletes, they have some sort of hiccup in their life and we go to judging them and throwing stones at them. But guess what? We're all human. We're all prone to making mistakes, right? I say this all the time. I'll say it again because it's just apropos, if you will. I can remember my apostle telling me, my pastor, Leonard Lucas, the second, telling me years ago, he said, there's no such thing as a perfect church. He said, and if you find a perfect church and you go there, please leave because you will make it imperfect. So leadership, excuse me, doesn't mean suppressing your humanity. Being a strong individual doesn't mean you have to suppress your humanity. So tonight, we're talking about the cost of always being strong. All right, emotional suppression increases stress. So, psychological research shows that consistently suppressing emotion, how you feel, what you experience, and what you're thinking, increases physiological stress responses and contributes to anxiety and burnout. And you also start to feel certain things happen, not only in your mind and your emotions, but also your body begins to act out this anxiety, this emotional suppression that you're experiencing. Strength without expression becomes pressure. I'll say that one more time. Strength without expression becomes pressure. All right, babe. You coming in? You come and join me? All right, thank you. No, no, come on in. Thank you. It's good to see you. I hope you had a good day. Yeah, well, it's going to end better, okay? It's going to end better, okay? Hi, everyone. I see Senna has joined us. I see my nephew Rashad has joined us. Uh, I didn't get a chance to see anybody else, but please jump in the chat. Share your thought. Jazz is on. Yeah, share your thoughts. Any questions you may have, jump on and share that with us as well. And we're so happy that you're here with us tonight. We're talking about how you don't have to always be the strong one. Okay, let's move that. There we go. And you better find someone. And trust me, God has placed someone in your life, several people in your life that you can lean on that will bring comfort, mentorship, and coaching to your life. So, leaders often experience isolation. Leaders. How you doing, nephew? That's my nephew Rashad there. Leaders often experience isolation. Studies on executive leadership, of course, my doctoral studies was in leadership. And, we looked at a number of different concepts in leadership. And studies on executive leadership reveal that high responsibility, those individuals that have high responsibility in the roles that they're in, frequently, report feeling alone, feeling like they're doing this by themselves, even when they're surrounded by good, capable people. Because sometimes our pride, our ego, we have to, show the face that we're doing well. We got it all together. We're going to make it happen. And we're stressed out. We feeling anxiety. We're feeling overwhelmed. We're feeling, the symptoms of burnout. Our body is acting out on us, right? We're starting to experience, hypertension and ulcers and all sorts of things. Can't sleep at night because we're stressing and thinking about what we didn't do that day and what we have to do the next day because we have been conditioned that we always have to be the strong one, right? So, responsibility, it can create emotional distance if vulnerability is absent. Now, as men, we've been taught and trained we cannot be vulnerable. We can't cry, we can't show any signs of weakness. But I come to tell you, studies show us that when you have responsibility, for instance, taking care of a family, leadership on a job, so on and so forth, that if we don't allow ourselves to be vulnerable in certain moments, it will create an emotional gap. Who we really are, who we really want to be, and it will impact the people around us, the people who care about us, the people who truly love us, right? Push them away, right? We will. So burnout isn't always about our workload because we think about burnout is synonymous with our workload. That's not necessarily true. You can have an immense workload. You can have a lot of stuff on your plate, but if you compartmentalize, if you schedule things properly, you can actually enjoy the workload that you have, especially if you're doing something that you truly enjoy, right? And I heard it said when I was very young, man, if you do something that you enjoy, you will never work a day in your life. And I believe that that is true. I've been in some positions where I worked hard, had a lot of responsibility, but man, I enjoyed the process. I enjoyed what I was doing, even though I may have had to work many hours, long hours. So a lot of times that's a sign for us that we need to take a step back, we need to regroup, we need to rethink some things. So remember, burnout isn't always about workload. It's not always directly connected to our workload. So burnout is strongly tied to emotional disconnection and a lack of authentic support, not just work hours. When you feel you don't feel safe, you know, this happened to me, in the past. I didn't feel safe being human, experiencing and showing my humanity.
Hmm.
I didn't feel safe showing that, hey, I'm fatigued, I'm tired,
Mm.
I need a break. Because if you do, that could be a chink in your armor. That could be your demise. That could be the start of your downfall, right? And that's not true at all. We all need to rest.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord Jesus Christ rested. He took time to himself. He got away from people, energized himself.
Yeah.
So sometimes we don't feel safe in our humanity. And if we don't feel safe in our humanity, fatigue will continue to build, it will continue to compound.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, and you heard me say this before. When you and I got together, one of the things you did for me was you put me in a space where you helped me understand I needed to enjoy life a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more, right?
Yeah.
I was always working, always concerned about taking care of this, taking
Yeah.
care of that. But when you came along, it's like, hey, you got to let your hair down, you got to relax a little
Yeah.
bit, you got to rest, you got to get away and just take your mind off of everything and just enjoy life, enjoy the fruits of your labor. And for me, my orientation was I'm laboring for everybody else to enjoy the fruit, right?
Mm.
For my spouse, for my children, for whoever, my parents or my siblings or
But then you weren't
whoever.
even enjoying it.
Exactly. That was the
Everything is
orientation.
like everything on the clock.
Yep.
You're watching the
Yep.
clock, thinking
Absolutely.
about when you're supposed to be enjoying. You're thinking about what you're going to be doing for the next day, or
Hmm.
what you have scheduled, or what meeting you have, and oh, I got to do this, and then and people don't understand. It literally shows.
Hmm.
Like I'm ready to go
Hmm.
because I have other stuff on my mind. But how do you enjoy life? You
Hmm.
know, you can't work, 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 work. You can't do that. That's not
Hmm.
enjoying life unless you just like the work and don't want to do nothing. Some people are like that.
Hmm.
So
Now, you
yeah,
reminded me of Rihanna's song just now.
work, 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 work,
Yeah. That's
work.
what she says in there, right? Work, work, work.
I
Okay.
think so.
Okay.
Rihanna. What the guy called
Rihanna.
on the thing we was watching that before last?
Oh, I don't remember.
Rihanna. Trying to be
Yeah.
like Rihanna. I was like, who is Rihanna?
So vulnerability builds trust. It should. But some people have been conditioned to feel that if someone shows you vulnerability, they're showing you weakness,
Weakness.
they're showing you incompetence,
Yep. Yep.
they're showing
Yep.
you laziness. But
Yep.
vulnerability should build trust. When you go to your spouse, your partner, your significant other, you should be able to be vulnerable because there should be a level of trust
Yeah.
between you that your
Yeah.
spouse knows who you are. They know your character, they
Hmm.
know your competencies, they know your capacity, your capability, they know all these things. So if you do have a moment of vulnerability, it shouldn't be a judgment. It should be okay. She's going something. Okay, he's going through something. Let's sit back, let him, go through the different stages of it. Then you can step in and say, okay, now how can I help you? What can I do to alleviate this
Hmm.
stress, this pressure that you're dealing with, right?
Yeah.
So, research from organizational psychology shows that leaders who demonstrate appropriate vulnerability increase team trust and engagement. I love working with and for reporting to people, excuse me,
Mm.
who show that's the tea I'm drinking. And that's with the fast and all that's going on. So,
Mm.
but anyway, excuse me if you heard that, if you heard me belching just now. Is it called belching?
Oh wow! Did you read this?
But anyway,
You gotta read this. I'm.
okay, I'll take a look at that in a minute. But I always enjoy working with and for people who can be vulnerable. I don't know if Dr. K is on tonight, but she was that type of boss for me, right? She was our director. She was our acting president of the organization that I was last with. And we would get in these meetings. And of course, smart as a whip. She knows exactly what she's doing, great experience, all of those things, great education, all of those things. But there were times she allowed herself to be vulnerable and allowed
Mm.
us as a team to support her and uphold her. And that just made her, um, I wanted to say, you know, um, she was building trust in us when she showed that she could be vulnerable, and she could lean on us as her team to help her get through certain things that she had to deal with because she had a lot of responsibility and a lot of pressure that was placed on her.
Mm.
So, once again, research from organizational psychology shows that leaders who demonstrate appropriate vulnerability increase team trust and engagement. So, humanity strengthens leadership, it doesn't weaken it.
Mm.
I'll say that again. Humanity strengthens leadership, it doesn't weaken it. Now, of course, I always give a faith centered perspective uh, because that's been, the past 40 years almost of
Mm.
my life, being involved in faith in some way, right? And leading in faith in some way. So I always want to when we have our podcast, when we come together, our episodes, I want to talk about a faith centered perspective. So even the strongest leaders in Scripture experience moments of weariness, fear, and honest prayer. Yeah, I can remember.
Mm.
I can remember David. Right, we talk about David every week. King David. Just an incredible character, incredible person in Scripture. He had just defeated Goliath. He had, killed a lion, a bear with his bare hands. And then Saul talked about killing him, and he was fearful. He was afraid, right? He had seen the Lord use him, he had seen the Holy Spirit come upon him and use him in a mighty way. But then a man, comes and says, "Okay, I'm gonna kill him because of whatever reason." And we know the reason for those of us who have heard the story and studied Scripture. David was called by God to replace Saul because Saul was disobedient. He wasn't God's initial choice anyway to be king. Matter of fact, God was pretty hurt that the children of Israel decided they wanted to have a king like the other nations around them because God said, "I am your king," right? But anyway, David had these moments of great valor and then these moments of great fear. It's his humanity, right? And it showed in his life, which makes him such a great inspirational leader for us to look at his life, study his life, and follow some of the principles that he lived by.
Mm.
So even the strongest leaders in scripture, they experience moments of weariness, weakness, fear,
Wow.
and they had to get into honest prayer, right? Be honest about what's going on, the sin that I've caused, the sin that I've walked through and experienced. They had to be honest in prayer to God, right? Because God knew everything anyway. So, and when they went into that place of honesty with themselves, and when you and I go into a place of honesty with ourselves, we can experience that renewed strength. We can experience renewed strength. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength, right? They shall
Mm.
mount up
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
wings of eagles. They shall run and not get weary. They shall walk and not faint. But what are they doing? They're waiting on the Lord, right? So strength is sustained through surrender, not silence.
Wow.
I'll say that again. Strength is
Wow.
sustained through surrender, not
Awesome.
silence. If anybody have any comments, please jump in the chat and share your
Wow.
comments. You have any questions, please jump in and share your questions. We're making good time. Where are we
Yeah,
at
you
time?
we
Yeah,
just
we're
talked
making
about that.
we're making good
We
time.
just talked about
25.
you on the
Yeah.
clock, checking the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we want to be respectful of people's time
Ain't
too.
nobody talking about the time but you.
Yeah. Well, that's my job to talk about it. That's why. All right. Now I have some questions for you. I want you to think about, as is our custom, to go through certain questions. Number one, when was the last time you admitted you were overwhelmed? When was the last time you admitted that you were overwhelmed?
Today.
Today, right?
Today.
Yesterday too, right?
Yeah.
The past couple days, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
That's amazing how you know that you are and you say that you are. But I'm just thankful to God that my body is not reacting to it. I guess because of, I found a different way to handle it, maybe.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you found another level of wisdom to deal with it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good point. Good point.
Mhm.
All right. Question number two. And take your time. You can jump in the chat and share that with us if you'd like. Of course, that first question, when was the last time you admitted you were overwhelmed? Um, when was the last time for me? The last time,
Cause say
could say
last
last
week.
week, yeah.
What happened last week? Cause
Yeah. What
we don't even
happened?
want to know
What
what
happened
got
that
it.
you felt was
Yeah.
overwhelmed? I tell you, the last time I felt overwhelmed was when you
Mhm.
were in the hospital.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I felt overwhelmed because to see you there in that pain like that, and
Mm.
trying to hold everything together at home, make sure you were okay. I didn't get any sleep that whole week. I got no sleep that whole week, so I did feel a sense of being overwhelmed, not because of what you were going through,
Right. Right.
but because I just didn't get rest and among some other things. Yeah. The
Yeah.
case said today. Yes.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, question number two: who has permission to see you without the armor?
You
Who has permission? There has to be some other
and my
people
mama,
to see us without our armor
my
on, right?
children.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We got to have some people we can go around, right?
Mildred.
I can remember when I was pastoring, it was one of the things that was really critical, that I had to have certain people around me where I could just be myself. I didn't have to be Rev 24/7. I didn't have to be Pastor 24/7. I could just be
You can be
myself,
yourself
and
and
just be comfortable in
around
my
people.
own
Yeah.
skin, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't have people like that, you got to find people like that you can be yourself. You can take all that
Yeah.
armor off, right? And just relax and be yourself. So think about that for a minute.
James
Who
said
has permission? Who has permission to see you without the armor?
James said he was stressed last week. He's going through his master's program. 1 year program and graduated in May. Oh,
Keep me pretty. Yeah,
you
I know.
got
Yeah, you and I
that.
talked about that, Q. Yeah, absolutely. We know you got it. You're gonna come
You
through
got
strong.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I understand that experience. Let's see, Dr. K. I was reminded today that
That I have.
that I have a little army. I'm sorry.
And
And
Dr. D,
Dr. D,
you
you already
already
know.
know.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I also had a chance to talk to David Lee tonight too. So hopefully we'll get a chance to talk over the next couple of days. I know you've already talked to him, but yeah, good conversation I had with him today. Um, let's see. Question number three: are you leading from authenticity or expectation? Now, the reason
Mm.
why this question is so important to me is because a lot of times I was doing things because it was the expectation. I wasn't leading from a place of authenticity. I wasn't doing it from an authentic perspective. It was just, hey, this is the expectation. I
Mhm.
just got to get this stuff done, man. And I'm gonna tell you, if you living by expectations, you will burn out. You will throw in the towel. You will quit
Quit with the
because,
quickness. Huh?
excuse me, yes, because you can't really live up to other people's expectation anyway.
Yeah.
So do it from an authentic place, right? So are you leading from authenticity or expectation? Think about that. Question number 4. What emotions have you been suppressing in the name of strength? What emotions have you been suppressing to continue to show, put this face on that you are still strong? Think about that. Remember, when we first started this podcast, one of the things I wanted to make sure we all considered and put at the front of our brain, the front of our mind, is that we need to make sure we give stuff that we are going through a name, right? Because if you don't name it, you can't address it.
Mm.
It's just going to be something that's arbitrary, something that's off in the sky, something that can't be explained. No, give it a name. Once you give it a name, you know how to address it. You can do
Mm.
research on what it is. Okay, I got a name for it. It's
Okay.
whatever. It's whatever. It's some type of anxiety, right?
Mhm,
It's
mhm,
some
mhm.
type of depression. It's some type of this, that, or the other. Give it a name so you can address it. Okay. So, what emotions have you been suppressing in the name of so-called being strong? The
Mhm.
one who always has to be strong. Whatever that is, give it a name. If you
Hmm.
give it a name, you can deal with it. You can address it. Okay. Question number 5. And please jump in if you have something you want to share, a question. Jump in the chat and share that with us. What would it look like to be strong and honest at the same time?
Hmm.
What would it look like to be strong and honest at the same time? What would that look like?
That's a good question.
You got to get stuff done. You know, I've been needing to get in our yard and prune our wine vines, right? You start in January, February,
Mhm.
getting those vines pruned. And I just kept delaying, didn't feel like doing it. And Cuz can tell you, and those who have heard me minister, I used to say all the time, it's not based on how you feel, it's an act of the will. It's never based on how you feel. It's an act of the will, right? So I finally got out there and dealt with, that yard and, pruning those vines, which is very hard, tedious work. I mean, you got to pay attention to what you're doing because you could damage your vines, while they're in this dormant stage. And I finally got out there about 2 weeks
I
ago,
think it was, yeah.
about
Yeah.
2 Saturdays ago,
Yeah.
and got out there and took care of the watch TV, right? I
Mhm.
tried to just relax my mind for a little bit. And guess what? I went out there today and we're starting to get some growth on those vines.
Oh, really?
Yep, starting to get
Wow.
growth on those vines.
Wow.
But anyway, let's see. What do we have here? Dr. K jumped in: fear, anger, loss, sometimes regret.
Yeah.
I have to give you a shout out because this is so therapeutic. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you for sharing that, Dr. K. Yes, thank you for sharing that. Man, we always running around. We got to be the strong one. And man, we burning ourselves out. We're not taking care of ourselves, our emotional health, our mental health, our physical health, all those things, because we're constantly going and running
Yeah.
and, trying to be the strong one all the time. Nah, let somebody else be strong for a change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sit in the cut and let somebody else be
Yeah.
strong.
I think that has a lot to do with me not, following up, making a doctor's appointment. And when I should have. You even told me, when you going to the doctor? When you going, and trying to just keep it pushing.
Hmm.
trying to get stuff done at work and
Mhm.
neglected my own health.
Yeah. And the thing about it is,
Neglected my own health.
if you dead and gone, the company is going to continue to move forward. They're going to continue to do what they're doing. So you don't need to be stressing yourself out like that. Take care of
Mhm.
yourself. Okay, let's see. Cuz said, yes, indeed. I can still hear you saying that from time to time in my head. Oh, yeah. It's
Say it
never,
again, how you
it's
repeat it?
never, it's never based on how you feel. It's an act
Act
of
of
the
the
will. Yeah, it's all in the will. It's all in the will.
Not the wheel, the will.
The will. Yes. Yes. Let's see. What would it look like? Okay. We went through that. That's the last question I'm gonna go over. Baby, you have something you want to share with us tonight before we close out?
Oh, excuse me.
You yawning?
Yeah, I had a long day yesterday, long
Hmm.
day today.
That's your humanity, right?
Yeah,
You can't be ashamed of your humanity.
yeah. I just gotta get this work-life balance together. Everything is a priority. Everything is a priority. Everything is a priority.
Hmm.
And being able
And
to,
if everything's a priority, just prioritize. Just put it in order. Prioritize. Most important to least important, right? Instead of getting overwhelmed thinking about all of these priorities, right?
yeah,
That we have to do.
yeah, that's
I'm sorry
right.
to cut you off.
No,
I'm
no,
sorry
no,
to
no,
cut
you're
you off.
not cutting me off. But this is what's on this T thing.
What's on here?
It says your strength is shared when you are present for others.
I never look at those. I didn't
I just
realize.
happened to
I
see
didn't
it.
realize they have sayings on that.
But it
What is
says
the
your
other one?
strength is shared when you are present
When you're present for others.
others.
Okay, that's a
This
good one.
one says
Because I got 2 tea bags in every one. One is a green tea with blueberry, and one is ginger.
the unknown is where all outcomes are possible. Enter it with grace.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And people
Wow.
people get people don't like change. We don't like change, right? We like to be comfortable. We like things to stay the same, be consistent. But most times, that's where opportunities happen in
Mm.
change. It happens in those uncertain times, right?
Look at the cup you're drinking out of.
Yeah, yeah.
Prayers. What does that say? Prayer changes things.
And on the back, pray
Pray
without
without
ceasing.
ceasing.
Yeah,
And the
First Thessalonians
Thessalonians, First
5:17.
Thessalonians. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just have to take it one day at a time. We all have to take it one day at a time, not just me, not just speaking for myself, but. And I don't feel overwhelmed or anything. I just, like you said, I'm just trying to prioritize what, you know,
Hmm.
everything is a deadline. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
I get some good rest at night, I must say.
Yeah. Sounds like you get good rest.
What is that supposed to mean?
It certainly sounds like you're getting good rest.
Well, I do.
Good.
I do. I get good
Good.
rest.
That's
Aside
good.
from the snore, where's the doctor at on here? Because he's supposed. Last time we was talking about snoring before, and he was supposed to try to tell me about the CPAP and all that. I don't. I
Was
don't.
that Dr. Hank?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay. He
mean.
was on last week. We should have
Hmm.
asked him about that last week.
But I mean, I don't snore all the time.
That's a statement or a question?
I'm looking at you. It's not all the time, right?
Is that a statement or a question?
When I came home from the hospital, I wasn't really snoring a whole lot. You're not gonna say nothing. You gotta be honest.
No, you don't snore every single night.
Okay.
Not every single night, but yeah, it's
Mhm.
enough. It's enough.
By now, you should be used to it.
That's what they say, but it doesn't work like that.
It should. When you blowing bubbles, I just nudge you and
It doesn't
tell you
work.
turn over,
Yeah. Well, I
like
mean,
you under the seat.
excuse me. All of us are different, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm
But
real
that's based
sensitive to
on love.
sound.
That's love.
Nope. I'm sensitive to sound.
Damn the
Very
sound. Oh,
sensitive to light.
love.
Hey, love. What love got to do with it? That's what Tina Turner said.
Love should keep you in the bed at night.
No, 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 no.
Love should.
But anyway, everyone, please, if you haven't, and I thank you too. We had a nice spike last week in subscriptions on my YouTube channel, Meaningful Conversations with Dr. Devin Oden. Thank you for that. Please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please hit that bell so you'll be alerted or of any videos that I drop, any content that I drop when we go live every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Of course, that's Pacific time. So thank you for that. Please share the podcast with family, friends, colleagues, those you think who can benefit from this. Thank you, Dr. K. Great conversation. Lots to think about. Thank you.
I was thinking
Yes.
about us
Thank
maybe
you.
possibly moving up from 7 to 6.
Let's see. James, I thank God for y'all wisdom. Yes. Thank you, my brother.
Love you.
Thank you, my
Tell your
brother.
wife,
Man, I,
hey.
I've been behind the eight ball. Michelle is celebrating her birthday on Friday the
Yep.
6th. James, if you and your lovely wife, my sister, are able to come out, she's going to have a birthday party at the
It's a
lake
get-together,
house
yeah.
in our community. Get together at the lake house in our community. Would love for you guys to come and bring the grandbaby too, and come and hang out with us for a little bit
Yeah.
on Friday. And once again, I want to congratulate my oldest brother Alvin, who is an Omega man. Um, he's been an Omega man since '99. Yeah, he's retired from the Army, 36 years of service. Just an admirable man, outstanding citizen, community leader, educator, all those things. Just the type of man you want to aspire to be like, right? Family man. But anyway, congratulations to him.
That youngster retired,
Yeah, so before we close out, like I said, make sure you go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Meaningful Conversations with Dr. Devin Oten. Make sure you share, you hit that bell, comment on there. Put your comments on there. All of those things help with our algorithm, where YouTube will send our content to people and help us continue to grow our network of audience and those who would share our content and enjoy our content and use the content.
Yeah.
So as we close out, you don't have to collapse
Mm.
to be honest with yourself. You don't have to break down to admit you're tired, and you don't have to carry everything alone to prove you're capable. Real strength is sustainable.
Mm.
It allows for rest, it allows for emotion, it allows for our humanity. So leadership doesn't mean suppressing who you are, it means stewarding it well, being a good steward of who you are and what you have
Yeah.
been blessed to have. So thank you for joining us on Meaningful Conversations tonight. Until next time, lead boldly, live honestly,
And get your
and
rest.
protect your emotional health and get some rest. All right.
Get some rest.
So good night, everyone. See you next week. Thank you so much.
Don't stress. Get your rest. Good night, everyone.